Yeah, I got into sales off an Indeed app a while back, started at a company called Encore, was getting paid like $30 an hour, thought it was the best thing ever, and then knocked on this one person's door, and they happened to be, selling solar fully commissioned. So I took a shot, went on an interview, did that for a little while at a company called Power, and then I ended up getting recruited by somebody from Solar Pros, Mason Mahaffey. So, and then been out here since for the last about year and a half now. I mean, the pros is just a lot different. I'd say the biggest thing is just like the family aspect of everything. I'm super close with all my managers and my regionals and stuff like that. Getting closer to like the divisionals as well. It's a lot differently than other companies where you just don't even see the bigger names and they're kind of just there on their vacations. Everyone's kind of like together, so it's a lot nicer. It's doing things differently than anybody else. I feel like a lot of people, they'll just say, work the hours and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, you got to be just a slight different than anybody else, and everybody's got their own ways, and that's kind of why everybody in this room, they probably just do some stuff a little bit differently than others. And so I'd say, repetition and then also doing things differently will get you to be elite. Whether it's, dressing differently on doors, or whether it's, knocking certain hours that other people aren't knocking, or whether it's, knocking days where other people aren't knocking. It's just, the small little different things that everybody does differently. Some people might knock only weekends, some people might only knock weekdays, and so it's really finding your groove and what works for you, and that's what's going to make you different and elite. It'd mean a lot. I mean, I'm not really, when it comes to competitions and stuff, I do my job every single day, but winning this would just kind of be a cherry on top situation. And so, I think with the Resurgence as well, you kind of get a little bit of you get a little bit of shit talk as well during it, and that's a lot of fun to kind of just be able to shit talk and, be able to compete against some of the big dogs in the company. So it'd mean a lot. I would say the foundation is just realistically the culture behind it. I'm sure you guys, a lot of basketball teams, you guys see the Warriors, they're always continuously doing good every single year, and that's just because of the culture that they've built. They've had basically the same guys kind of there and the same coach there for however long, since 2013. And so they've just been super consistent. The culture's just been really great. That's kind of the biggest thing, is just being able to win champions really comes down to who you build around. I mean, everybody's going to be going balls to the wall. All right. I mean, it's going to be one of those competitions where every single day people are working. There's going to be some days where people aren't sleeping. They're going to be up super early. I know for me, it's going to be, doing things and sticking to a schedule every single day. I really like to eat well, go to the gym every single day, work the hours, and still be able to sleep. I usually, when I'm in competitions like this, I don't really have time for anything else. And so as long as I can do my basics and still continue to be healthy, I know for a fact that, everybody else out here, they're going to have their own schedule, and it's going to be everybody pushing against everybody. So we'll see who comes at the top. I remember last year in Resurgence, it was kind of like a newer thing to me. I was just, a casual rep and didn't really know what was happening, but I went on a blitz and I popped off and forgot that I was in a competition, and our team was all of a sudden at the top. And so I think it's kind of cool nowadays to be able to know exactly what I'm competing for. And so every single blitz is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have some guys on my team for Resurgence, and we're going to be able to push each other every single day. I think we got fourth. Yeah, I think last year was tough because the last week or two, we didn't even I wasn't blitzing or anything like that. And so I've kind of planned all my blitzes around these specific dates for the competition. So I know I'm always going to be in the field, and if I'm always in the field, then it's going to be a lot of problems for other people.